20 years, that's how long one of my clients had been guessing at what was triggering her symptoms before we identified the actual driver on day one of working together. In the next 5 minutes, I'll show you why trigger identification usually takes so long and what actually shortens it. I've worked through trigger identification with enough clients now to see a real pattern in how long it actually takes and why it varies so much from person to person. Here's what most people assume. If you haven't found your trigger yet, you just haven't tried hard enough. Eliminate more foods, test more supplements, keep a longer food diary. The assumption is that the answer is out there somewhere in your diet, and enough diligence will eventually uncover it. For that client, it wasn't in her diet at all. It was her light environment, something she'd never once considered testing because nobody had ever suggested it belonged on the list. 20 years of elimination diets, symptom trackers, and supplement trials, and the actual driver had nothing to do with any of it the entire time. Here's why that guessing takes so long for most people. They're testing within a narrow category, usually just food, because that's the category everyone tells them to test. If the real driver sits outside that category entirely, no amount of diligence inside it will ever find it. You can be extremely thorough and still be looking in completely the wrong place. That's not always the case, though. For another client, the driver actually was environmental in a different way, mycotoxin exposure. And it took about 4 weeks of systematic testing to narrow that down. Not 20 years, 4 weeks. The difference wasn't luck, it was testing across categories: light, food, mold, heavy metals, instead of assuming it had to be food and only food, the way most people default to. Most people's triggers are actually a combination of factors, not one single smoking gun. But you only find the combination when you're willing to test outside the category you've been told to look in from the start. Here's why a structured process of elimination beats guessing so dramatically. Guessing keeps you circling the same category, refining the same list over and over, hoping harder gets a different result. A real process of elimination moves through categories: light, food, mold, metals, stress, one at a time until the actual pattern shows up instead of assuming the answer has to be food because that's where everyone starts by default. If you've been guessing for years and the answer still hasn't shown up, it might not be that you haven't been thorough enough. It might be that you've been thorough in the wrong category the entire time. A proper elimination process done in the right order finds that faster than most diligence in the same place ever will.